Well, I mean, there's quite a lot to that in the sense that if you just look at big corporations, they tend to be more professional. They tend to have more professional management, and that would include training and developing staff. Although, as we've seen from some of the examples I've quoted, we've still got some that kind of only go some steps of the way and not others. So you can criticise some of the big corporations often for some of these things they do by half measures. That said, I mean, certain ones I would want to use as models to exemplars of other people. Then, you know, this whole idea of having fully trained staff, having well-motivated staff, having staff that are retained, having staff that actually have good relationships with customers, whatever role that is in, all of those things really are what these big businesses should be, and the best ones are about. The small companies, as we've seen, sometimes their motives for being in these businesses is not true business, you know. I mean, some of the work I quoted earlier about Blackpool, people buying bed and breakfasts in Blackpool, or indeed taking over pubs, you know, people who've spent their lives working, get a lump sum and decide after they've finished working in the army or in the police, they take their lump sum and they take over a pub. Well, nothing could be harder work, you know. They are really, really very, very demanding and tying, and can, for some of these people, be a real drain of their money. So there's a sort of real issue about why people are doing it. And if we continue to allow this free for all, then we're always going to have a situation where very large numbers of the smallest firms are people whose business motives are not as pure and primary as they really ought to be, you know, and their preparation for these roles, again, is consequently weak. So I think that, you know, we're not going to be able to overcome the kind of improving standards and performance across the board whilst we've got this free-for-all. Essentially, how do you get to be a manager of this type of business? And if the route is, well, if you stand around long enough, a job will come along, or if there's a sign of breath on the mirror, you're alive, you're in. If we continue doing that, then we'll have this incompetence and hit and miss notion of skills and development and so on.